The year is 1944, and you just defeated the Germans at Normandy. What is your reward for that? Money? Fame? Power? How about seeing a film called I Accuse My Parents? The film was about a kid named Jimmy who gets neglected by his parents his whole life, and that sets him down a path of joining the mafia. It was given a re-release among mainstream audiences a year later in 1945, where it was forgotten about. However, in 1993, the movie experienced a revival as it was shown on Mystery Science Theater 3000's 5th season. Joel and the Bots had some harsh words for it, and it's now described as a terrible movie. But is it really? Did MST3K judge it too harshly? Can we learn something from this? Should it be remade? Let's dig in and see why this movie is not as bad as everyone says it is, and it's also a hidden gem. The movie follows a high school graduate named James, or Jimmy Wilson, who gets neglected by his parents. After he won the school's essay contest, his dad doesn't care one bit, as he just handed him $10 to go celebrate. His mom agrees to show up to the meet and greet, but she shows up drunk, embarrassing Jimmy. Jimmy then gets a job at the shoe store, and his salary is $25 a week. He then meets his first customer, Kitty Reed, who he sees as beautiful. He delivers her order to her house, and the two spend hours talking, with Kitty showing Jimmy pictures of her childhood. Kitty then has to leave for a dinner performance. Jimmy then goes home and sees that his parents threw a massive party, which disappoints Jimmy as his parents plan to go to the beach and that they forgot his birthday is tomorrow. This pushes Jimmy to go to Kitty's performance due to her showing interest in him despite not knowing him yet, and his parents seeming to care more for partying and gambling than their own son. At the restaurant, Jimmy sees Kitty sing the first musical number of the movie.
Are you happy in your work?
Where Kitty explains not only to Jimmy but everyone in the audience that you'll be happy no matter what your job you're in if you're in love. Which goes back to Jimmy's essay in the beginning, as he believes that a happy family is a man happily taking care of his wife, while the woman is happily taking care of the children. Jimmy then meets Kitty's boss, Charles Blake, who offers Jimmy a new job that will pay more than the shoe store, and he'll still keep the old job. Jimmy accepts due to Charles paying for the high bill and wanting to impress Kitty with more gifts. Slowly but surely, trouble starts. Charles tells Kitty to break up with Jimmy as he loves her, and due to his power, he can dispatch them both easily. Jimmy then realizes what he's involved with and threatens to tell the police, but Charles tells him he'll get 20 years in prison, and he hires his goons to kill Jimmy, but it fails due to the police being nearby. Jimmy tries to talk to his parents about this, but none of them care. In response, Jimmy runs away for several months, and Kitty sings the movie's third musical number.
Where can you be? Oh, how I need you.
As she is regretting what she did out of fear because Jimmy treated her nicer than Charles. Jimmy then gets taken under a restaurant owner named Al's wing, and he goes to church every Sunday and decides to go back and confess to what he did. As Al acted like a father, unlike Jimmy's real father, who, as I said earlier, refused to talk to him when he was in a tough spot, which caused him to run away because Charles was after him. Jimmy then talks with Kitty, and the two make up quickly, and Jimmy goes to confront Charles, and it results in a fight where Charles pulls a gun on Jimmy, but in trying to get the gun away, the gun goes off, and Charles is killed. We then see that the whole story was just Jimmy telling the judge what happened in court, and it results in the charge of Charles Blake's death being dropped, but also Jimmy gets charged in assisting in stealing goods, and that earns him a 5-year suspended sentence and 2 years prohibition, with the judge warning the audience that if parents neglect their children, they can end up like Jimmy. As you can see, it's not a 5-star masterpiece, but a lot can be learned from the story, and despite its sub-70-minute runtime, Jimmy's story gets good moments, and it makes his actions understandable. Going back to his father, until the very end, he doesn't care about him one bit, from when he comes across when he gives Jimmy money, to when his son needs his guidance. As for his mother, though she's better, she drinks right before the meet and greet at the school, which is why Jimmy got attracted to Kitty easily, as not only she's beautiful, she appears to care about Jimmy more than his own mother. Speaking of Kitty, we can see her thoughts on Charles and Jimmy through the second musical number.
Love came between us.
which love is Jimmy, while the us is Kitty and Charles, as he loved her, but then Jimmy came and she chose Jimmy before Charles threatened her. In conclusion, I Accuse My Parents isn't as bad as MST3K says it is, and I say if Hollywood needs to remake everything, they should give this one a shot. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and leave a like if you want more in the future.